Welcome to IPL Deep Dive, the podcast that brings you expert analysis, thrilling match highlights, and all the drama of IPL 2025. Whether you're a diehard fan or just catching the cricket fever, we've got you covered with in-depth insights and engaging discussions. Get ready to explore the heart of the action with your hosts, Mike and Michelle, as they dive into today's match analysis. It's time to step onto the pitch and join the conversation.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dive in.
We are.
And today,
to the IPL.
That's right.
Some really interesting games recently and some coming up.
Exactly. We've got a couple of big matches to unpack here.
Yeah.
First, the Delhi Capitals. Really impressive win over Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yep.
And then we're going to look ahead to Rajasthan Royals taking on Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
So much to learn.
Lots to learn.
And you've brought us some great sources today, all from YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got some great post-match discussion from CricBuzz Live and some insightful pre-match analysis from ESPN Cricinfo.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, some really expert commentary in these sources.
Absolutely. And like you always say,
Yeah.
your curiosity leads to good things.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just here to recap the scores or look at the highlights.
No.
We want to really dig into the deeper stuff.
Absolutely.
Like what's really going on with these teams?
Yep.
What are the dynamics? How's the form of these individual players?
How are the teams working?
Right. And what are the decisions that are really starting to shape the narrative of the season?
Yeah, because it's still early days, but
we can see some trends emerging.
absolutely some interesting stuff.
Yeah, okay. So should we jump straight into that Delhi versus Hyderabad match?
Let's do it.
Okay, so what really stood out to you about Delhi's performance?
I think the main thing that struck me was their just a really controlled aggression in the chase.
Uh-huh.
To chase down 164 and win with 4 overs to spare.
Yeah.
Really shows you they've got, real tactical flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just swinging for the fences every ball.
Yeah, they were picking their moments.
Picking their moments, rotating the strike really intelligently through the middle overs.
Right. Constantly keeping that pressure on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it kind of points to the fact that they've got, a real maturity to their batting lineup beyond just individual brilliance.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the runs certainly flowed freely. FAF Duplessis was on fire, wasn't he?
Oh, he was class.
Yeah.
A master class, really.
I have 50 of just 27 balls. I mean,
7 balls.
it set the tone beautifully for them, didn't it?
It really did. Yeah, he just showed his experience and his intent, He knew when to attack and really how to build that early momentum.
Yeah, and then you had a really nice contribution from Jake Fraser-McGurk.
Yeah, 38, yeah.
38, and Abhishek Parel, 34.
Yeah, exactly. And, while we're talking about, Delhi's batting dominance,
Yeah.
we should also mention young Zishan Ansari on debut for Hyderabad picked up 3 wickets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real positive for them.
Definitely a bright spot for Hyderabad in that match.
Yeah, something to build on.
Now, I wanted to ask you about a moment with Fraser-McGurk and his innings.
Oh, yeah.
There was that strategic timeout that was taken.
Yeah.
And the sources mentioned that Kevin Peterson was seen giving him a hug and some words of encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a really fascinating little insight.
What do you think that tells us about the team dynamics there in the Delhi camp?
Well, I think it shows you how important mentorship is.
Yeah.
Even in this high-pressure environment like the IPL.
Absolutely.
Fraser-McGurk clearly looked a bit unsettled early on.
Yeah, he looked a bit unsure of himself, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and, Peterson's a seasoned campaigner, as you said. He's been there, done it all. And to just give him a hug and some words of encouragement, just to kind of calm him down.
Yeah, just to settle him down.
It seemed to make a real difference. Visibly, you could see him relax and start to find his rhythm.
I wonder what he said to him.
Yeah, what do you think?
And maybe just a reminder to trust his instincts.
Yeah, possibly.
Or just focus on the next ball,
Absolutely block everything else out.
Yeah, just stay in the moment.
Yeah, because, the sources also mentioned Peterson's thoughts on Fraser-McGurk's dismissal later on, getting caught.
Right, chipping into a spinner.
Yeah, and he was sort of advocating for a more aggressive approach, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely seemed to feel that a player like Fraser-McGurk should go down swinging.
Absolutely. Yeah, rather than sort of playing a more tentative shot and getting out that way.
Yeah.
He's really bringing that positive attacking mindset to that Delhi dugout.
Yeah, he's got that real, back yourself attitude, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he was known for being incredibly supportive,
Right.
Even when he was playing, he was a real, calm head.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's rubbing off on the younger players.
Okay, let's move on to Delhi's bowling attack.
All right.
Which received a lot of praise in your sources,
Yeah.
particularly the duo of Mitchell Starc and Kuldeep Yadav.
And rightly so. They're a world-class combination.
Absolutely.
Stark was particularly impressive,
Yeah.
taking wickets both with the new ball.
Right, so in the power play.
Yeah, in that power play when the fielding restrictions are in place.
Yeah.
And then later on in the innings as well.
And 8 wickets in just 2 games is pretty special.
Oh, he's on fire, isn't he?
Yeah. And there was even a mention in there of his 5-wicket haul in T20s.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his current form is just incredible.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to be saying that his rhythm and his variety looks so much better than last season.
There was even a remarkable head-to-head stat mention
Oh, yeah.
about Stark's hold over Travis Head.
Yeah.
6 dismissals for just 18 runs across 34 balls.
I mean, that's incredible, isn't it?
That is a seriously good matchup for him.
He's got his number, hasn't he?
Yeah, definitely does. And then you've got Kuldeep Yadav as well, who continues to be just such a consistent wicket taker.
Oh, absolutely.
3 more in this match.
3 more, yeah. And when you've got 2 bowlers of that quality striking regularly and keeping the runs down, it just puts immense pressure on the opposition.
Yeah, it makes such a difference to your team's chances.
Hugely.
And from the sources, it sounds like the overall team environment in the Delhi camp is really positive at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to be buzzing, don't they?
Yeah.
I think, starting the tournament with a win, even though it was a close one, in that first match, can really galvanize a team.
Yeah, they get that belief.
You get that belief.
Yeah, and then that confidence builds.
And the players start to bond over those shared successes.
Right.
Which creates a much stronger unit, to navigate the challenges that are inevitably going to come later on in the tournament.
Absolutely.
And some commentators are even saying this might be one of the best bowling attacks Delhi have ever had.
Wow. That's high praise.
It is.
There was also an interesting term used to describe the Delhi players, low maintenance.
Yeah.
And they specifically highlighted guys like Duplessis, Kuldeep, and Stark.
Yeah.
What's the significance of that, do you think?
I think it speaks to the idea of having players who are just really focused on their game. And they're not bringing unnecessary drama.
Yeah, no ego.
Yeah, exactly. And they're actively supporting the younger members of the squad. And in a high-pressure environment like the IPL, that can be huge,
Yeah, it must make such a difference.
Yeah, it lets the coaching staff focus on the, the strategy and the performance.
Yeah.
Rather than having to, manage egos or deal with off-field issues.
Yeah.
It just creates a much more positive and productive environment.
Right. Okay, let's talk about the other side of that match then. Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty stark contrast to their explosive start to the season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they were on fire in that first game, weren't they?
Yeah, they put up a record-breaking score.
Yeah. And then the wheels kind of came off a bit.
What do you think happened?
Well, their bowling attack, as we saw it, has been pretty expensive.
Yeah, going for plenty was the phrase used.
Yeah. And I think there's a sense that maybe that initial success kind of went to their heads a little bit.
Yeah.
They got a bit too confident, maybe a bit complacent.
Maybe overconfident.
Yeah, and they seem to be stuck in that ultra-attacking mode.
Right. So even when the situation maybe called for a bit more caution.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they were just trying to replicate that, pedal to the metal approach from that first game.
Yeah, and the decision to bat first in this match was also questioned, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you consider that the pitch was probably going to favor the spinners more in the second innings.
Yeah.
So I think it raises some questions about their ability to, adapt and read the conditions.
Yeah, they just didn't seem to be able to adjust their game plan, did they?
No, and as a result, they made some poor shot selections. Particularly from some of their key batsmen.
Yeah.
And then losing those early wickets in the power play.
Yeah, put them on the back foot straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Pat Cummins at the toss was saying they were aiming to just outbat the opposition.
Yeah. I mean, that's a risky strategy, isn't it?
Yeah, in a lead like this where the bowling attacks are so strong.
Yeah, they're going to need to find a bit more balance, I think.
Yeah.
Between that aggressive intent and, a bit more awareness of the game situation and the pitch conditions.
Absolutely. Okay, let's turn our attention back to FAF Duplessis then.
All right.
Because his form is just ridiculous, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Especially at 40 years old.
50 of 27 balls at 40.
That's seriously impressive.
Yeah, it really is.
What do you put that down to?
Well, I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
He's got so much experience.
Right.
His commitment to fitness is unwavering.
Uh-huh.
And he seems to have a really balanced lifestyle.
Yeah.
He understands his own game so well.
Yeah.
He knows his strengths and his limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And he just keeps his batting approach so simple and effective.
Yeah. He's just so clear in his thinking, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it seems like he's playing a bit of a mentoring role for some of the younger players as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Jake Fraser-McGurk.
Yeah.
There was a mention of him giving some advice about, keeping your shape and not trying to overhit the ball.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where, that experience is so valuable.
Yeah, he can pass on all that knowledge.
Absolutely.
Help those younger players to, really understand the subtleties of T20 batting.
Yeah. How to maximize your scoring opportunities without taking unnecessary risks.
We also saw a slightly different approach from KL Rahul for Delhi in this match.
Oh, yeah.
He was out pretty quickly, but he scored 6-4.
Yeah, in quick succession.
Yeah, and that's interesting given the discussion around his scoring rate in the past, hasn't it?
It is. It's like he's shifted his mindset a bit,
Yeah.
Maybe without the captaincy, he's feeling a bit more freedom.
Right.
And he's just going out there with a more aggressive intent from ball one.
Yeah, and there's even a suggestion that his best position for Delhi might be higher up the order.
Yeah, at number 3.
Given this new approach.
Absolutely.
And finally on this match, Mitchell Starc was described as the coolest performer.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's really enjoying himself out there.
He is. He's loving it.
I mean, a few things could be contributing to his success.
Yeah.
Obviously the conditions suit him.
Mm-hmm.
His wife's over there supporting him, which always helps.
Yeah.
And then you've got Matthew Mott as coach, who's got a really good relationship with him.
Yeah, that must make a big difference.
Yeah, off-field comfort and support can have a huge impact,
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears now and look ahead to that Rajasthan Royals versus Chennai Super Kings clash.
Right.
Which is going to be taking place in Guwahati.
Yes.
And it looks like the Royals are under a bit of pressure already.
Oh, yeah, 2 losses in a row.
Yeah, that's not ideal, is it?
Not the start they were hoping for.
No, and Rian Parag is captaining again.
Yeah.
It's his home ground as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so the pressure's really on.
Yeah, he'll be desperate to get a win there and prove himself as captain.
Absolutely. And there's been some discussion about their struggles in Guwahati in the past, hasn't there?
Yeah, it was pointed out in one of the sources.
Yeah, and even questions raised about whether they should keep playing their home games there.
With the Assam Cricket Association.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to be a very happy hunting ground for them.
No.
But they're sticking with an unchanged 11 for this match.
Okay, so they're backing the same players.
Yeah. Seems like they're thinking, we just need to execute better.
Yeah.
But some commentators are suggesting that maybe they're overthinking their tactics a bit.
Oh, really? In what way?
Well, for example, there's talk about Shimron Hetmeyer batting too low in the order.
Right. He's such a powerful hitter, though, isn't he?
He is, and he's got a good record against pace bowling, but he's not really getting a chance to show what he can do down there at number 7.
No, not really. And it seems like they're very reliant on Yashasvi, Jaiswal, and Sanju Samson at the top of the order to get them going.
Yeah, they need those 2 to fire for them to have a chance, really.
And there were some concerns about Jofra Archer's bowling as well, weren't there?
Yeah, it's not quite clicked for him yet.
The sources suggested he hasn't been at his best.
Yeah, maybe there's a slight change in his action. Or maybe he's still finding his rhythm after those injuries.
Right.
Because when he's not firing, it puts a lot of pressure on the spinners to control the middle overs.
Yeah, and it was pointed out that they're persisting with that 6 batters, 5 bowlers tactic.
Yeah.
So they're relying heavily on the impact player substitution throughout the game.
Yeah, and that maybe highlights a lack of genuine all-rounders in their squad.
Yeah, they don't seem to have that balance, do they?
No.
And there's that ongoing debate about where Rian Parag should bat as well.
Yeah, at number 3.
Some people think he should be moved down.
And others are saying maybe they should promote Dhruv Jurel.
Yeah, so they're still searching for the right formula, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's interesting that they're keeping Hetmeyer down at 7.
Yeah.
Given his record against pace. I mean, that seems like a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, he could be so destructive higher up.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to Chennai Super Kings then.
All right.
Who won the toss and have chosen to bowl first.
Sensible decision, I think.
Yeah.
Gives them a chance to assess the conditions.
And they've made a couple of changes to their 11, haven't they?
They have Jamie Overton comes in for Sam Curran.
Okay.
And Vijay Shankar replaces Deepak Huda.
So what's the thinking there?
Well, I think they're looking to add a bit more firepower to their batting with Overton.
Okay.
And he can also contribute some overs with the ball.
Yeah, he's a good option.
And then Shankar just gives them a bit more depth in the batting department.
Right.
Especially in conditions that might not be as spin-friendly as their home ground.
Makes sense. And of course, the MS Dhoni batting position saga continues.
Oh, it's a never-ending debate, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people think he should be batting higher than number 9.
Yeah, especially after he looked in such good touch last time out.
Yeah, he's clearly still got it.
Oh, absolutely.
The ability to influence games.
Yeah, he can win matches on his own.
So yeah, maybe he should come in earlier.
When the game's in the balance.
Exactly. And Ruturaj Gaikwad's post-match comments after their last game raised a few eyebrows, didn't they?
Yeah, when he said they were chasing 20 runs too many, especially as it was their biggest ever home defeat.
In terms of runs.
Yeah, it seems like there might be a bit of a disconnect there.
Between the team's assessment of the game and the reality of the situation.
Yeah, it was a strange one.
But you know what CSK are like?
Yeah.
Even when they don't have the most, glamorous squad on paper,
Yeah.
they always seem to find a way to be competitive.
Yeah, they just get the job done, don't they?
Yeah, it's their experience and that astute management.
Yeah, and they have a great system in place, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
A core group of experienced players who know their roles inside out.
And the coaching staff just seem to maximize the resources they have.
Exactly.
One big positive for CSK, though, is their bowling attack.
Yeah.
They've got two genuine contenders for the Purple Cap.
That's right.
Noor Ahmed and Khalil Ahmed.
Yeah. Ahmed's been a revelation.
Yeah.
Such variety and guile.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously having MS behind the stumps helps.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
His guidance must be invaluable.
Yeah.
And Khalil Ahmed has been in good form as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he had a really good domestic season.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems to be thriving in that CSK environment.
Yeah, they're so good at creating that positive atmosphere, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And his left arm seam should be a real handful for a left-hander like Jaiswal.
Right. So that's a matchup to watch then.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the sources did suggest that Rajasthan might target Jadeja and Ashwin,
yeah.
the two senior spinners.
Yeah, like RCB did in the last game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if Rajasthan try and go after them as well.
Right. So it'll be really interesting to see how that Khalil Ahmed versus Yashasvi Jaiswal battle plays out.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Jaiswal can be a bit susceptible to the left arm seamer.
Yeah, he's got a tendency to get out early.
Yeah, he likes to attack from ball one, but he might need to rein it in a bit against Khalil.
Yeah, because Khalil can swing it both ways.
Yeah, he's a tricky customer.
And finally, the pre-match predictions for Rajasthan's first inning score.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, they are.
Anything from 168 to 203.
Yeah.
Which just shows the uncertainty, I think.
Yeah. Around their batting lineup.
Yeah, it could be a feast or a famine.
Right. Okay, so just to recap our deep dive today.
Okay.
Delhi Capitals looking really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrisers, Hyderabad need to rethink their batting approach.
Absolutely.
Rajasthan Royals under pressure to get a win.
Yep.
And Chennai Super Kings, strategically tweaking their lineup.
Yeah, it's all to play for.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it seems like individual player form and those tactical decisions are going to be the key factors in these early stages of the IPL.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. You never quite know what's going to happen.
Nope. It's unpredictable.
And for our final thought today,
Okay.
given everything we've discussed today,
Yeah.
all these evolving team strategies, the individual performances,
Yeah.
which team do you think is going to be the dominant force this season?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
And what kind of tactical adjustments do you think we're going to see in the coming matches?
Well, that's something for all of us to keep an eye on.
It certainly is.
The story of this IPL season is just beginning.
Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll be back soon with more.
Can't wait.
Until then, keep on diving.
Yeah, keep diving.
See ya.